Dude, it's so super dark today. We had this like crazy monsoon thunderstorm last night where it was like insanity, man. And it was like through the whole state. I live in Florida, don't tell anyone. So anyways, like through the whole state. And I guess it would like came from, I don't know where it came from, but the shit was crazy as hell. I was like on a road trip and there was this bridge, and the bridge, you couldn't even see the bridge, man. Like the rain was so insane that like the bridge was just gray. You couldn't even see the freaking bridge, dude. It was insane. um there was this one time I was in China. There was this one time I was in China. Last night I was telling somebody a story, and I was trying not to sound pretentious. I was like, this one time I was hiking through the Himalayan mountains in Nepal, and I saw this man, and he was 95 years old, and he changed my life. It was like that movie. That movie, with the Ben Stiller movie, where this guy was trying to impress this girl, and he's like, "Oh, I'm trying to pay for this parking meter, but all I got is these Nepalese coins, like coins from Nepal." I was thinking about that movie. Been to way too many countries and way too fucking pretentious. Anyways, even though I can't even fucking keep my shit together, I'm just joking. Maybe. You know what I really struggle with? I really fucking struggle with fucking like keeping my shit together. Like when I get way too excited. Like right now I'm getting really, really excited about something happening. So I'm like, and I can't even fucking concentrate. I'm like walking around my room, and I'm like, what do I usually do? What do I usually do? Because I'm like, it's almost like, it's not like a brain fog. It's more like a happy fucking, like a happy thing. It's like you get like so euphorically happy that like you can't function anymore. Fuck, it's so weird. It's so weird. It's like I have this friend, and the friend is coming to like America to visit, and I'm like so excited about this because like I haven't had a friend come visit me in America in forever. So I'm like, this is gonna be so cool. It's like, this is gonna be fucking so awesome, right? And I'm like really getting excited about it. And so it's an ant just bit me. It's okay, buddy. I have ants all over my room because ants rule. I have this one spider friend in the bathroom, and the spider friend has been in the same location for the past, I'd say, like month. He hasn't moved at all, or she. I'm not gonna be sexist here. And he's like this weird black spider, and he's always stayed in the same place. And then all of a sudden this morning he moved, and he was in a different location. I was like, dude, what happened? Like, why aren't you in like the same location that you? This is way too far down. Why aren't you in like the same location that you're usually in? Like, what's going on, bro? Like, I guess he ran out of food in the other location. I don't know. The only problem, okay. All right. Okay. So, okay. So, pretty much we all struggle with like relationships, like for the most part, because like we jump into things too fast, or like we might like somebody, and like we're like, oh crap, this is like an awesome person, and then like we just start dating them, or like kissing them, or whatever the case may be. We don't like we don't have time to think or process this through, and it's hard to like slow down if you're us, because like if you're bipolar or borderline, or even like clinically depressed, once you come out of the depressed stage, you're just like, I'm not depressed anymore. Let's do this, right? So for us, I think we make really shitty decisions, like really rash, bad choices, right? That's why we end up with the wrong people a lot, because we get like this euphoric happiness where we just like we think everything's gonna be amazing, and like we like totally don't, like, I don't think we rationalize like average people. Like average people might be like, yes, I might like that person, but what about the finances? And what about, what would I do with my couch? Like they're so like normally average that like they're just fucking, like, that's why like I think, like, honestly, they're not romantic artists. Like, they're not poets. Like, fucking, like, borderline people and bipolar people and clinically depressed people, we are, like, super fucking romantic and talented. I mean, think about all of the famous writers and the artists. I'll just keep that writers and artists. We won't even get into musicians. Let's add musicians too. Think about but more writers and artists for sure. Like, think about all the painters and the writers that have committed suicide or just killed themselves because they were like us. They were so fucking mentally gone that, like, they just lost their shit. Like, average people, like, let's take Picasso. I don't know if you know who Picasso is, right? A lot of people, I don't know if, so Picasso, right? Picasso was the most normal motherfucker going. Like, all he was a womanizer. He was a bit of a narcissist, for sure. And, like, all he did was just flaunt it. He was like a peacock. He was a peacocker. And he would just sleep with all these women. And he would just drive around. Everybody knew who he was. He was super famous. At the end of his life, he would go, like, food shopping. He'd go into, like, grocery stores in Portugal. Spain? No, I think it was Portuguese. Spain? Well, one of those fucking two countries. He would go into grocery stores, and, like, he would get, like, towards the cashier, and he was so goddamn famous in this country that, like, wherever he traveled in this country, he would walk into a grocery store, and everybody knew what he looked like. That's how famous he was. And this was before, like, TV and shit. And, like, they would be like, oh my god, it's Picasso. And he would get, he would have, like, milk and eggs and cheese and all this other stuff, wine, whatever. And the cash register person would be like, Mr. Picasso, just sign this piece of paper. Just sign, give me your autograph. Foods for free, wine free. So motherfucker never had to pay for shit. He would just sign a fucking piece of paper. He'd be like, ha ha, holla, Picasso motherfucker. But the motherfucker was normal as shit. There was a movie made about him where, like, he had these two women that he was both having sex with at the same time. I think it was his wife and his mistress. And both of them left him. And they were both, like, fed up with the shit. And then he had, like, this nervous fucking breakdown where he just broke down and he was, like, suicidal. So I think he was a narcissist, because narcissists usually kill themselves. So do sociopaths and psychopaths. Because once people catch on to a sociopath's or more of a psychopath's behaviors and they pick up on their shit, people are just like, no, 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 no. Because they can't last very long in a certain town or city or a certain corporation or job before everybody catches on to the fact that there's something crazily wrong with this person. And then they have to move and move and move and move. And usually if they're that deranged, like psychopath, sociopath, narcissist, they usually burn all the bridges. Everybody leaves them because they're so abusive or controlling or just fucking neglectful or just whatever the fuck they are, just insane, that they lose everybody in their life. And they usually end up alone. And once they reach the stage of being alone, they just end up killing themselves. It's fucking weird, man. And on top of that, a lot of specialists say that, like, narcissists have a very low self-esteem. Sorry, Jordan Peterson, self-worth. But yeah, it's fascinating, man. But people like Picasso, like, I don't know, he might have been a narcissist, but he was pretty average. That's why he lived until he died. He never committed suicide. He never did anything that fucking batshit crazy, other than, like, just sleep with a million women. So yeah, like, fucking, yeah, so, like, we're fucking romantic as shit. And it's just, like, it's very hard to hold back that romantic side, or that, like, side that's just like, oh my god, this is amazing, let's do it. Like, Even down to like road trips and like spending money and like drinking and doing drugs and shit and like always wanting fun, having a good time, and like we always want this euphoric bliss, right? And like that could come in the form of relationships, being with new people, gravitating towards people that like are just fucking fun and exciting. And I've had to be very, very cautious in relationships. I haven't dated anybody. I'm not even fucking with you. A lot of people think I'm just like fucking, like they don't believe me, and I'm like, no, I'm not kidding, cause don't tell anybody this, but I'm pretty good looking. Oh, shocker alert! It's this fucking goddamn jawline, motherfucker. I'm joking. I'm humble. I really am. Don't fool the eyes. Don't fool the eyes. So, anyways, but like, no, but like, when I tell people I haven't dated anybody in 7 years, they're like, why not, dude? And I have like 2 comebacks. I'm like, are they a basketball? Because I love fucking playing basketball. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Are they basketball? I'm like, would the girl be a basketball? And they'd be like, probably not. And I'd be like, then no, I wouldn't date her. Because I ain't going to date nobody that's a basketball. If they're not a basketball, I'm not going to date them. That's one comeback. Second one is, are they me? And the answer behind that is no, they're not me. Then I'm not going to date them. Because I've pretty much like mastered the state of being. So it's just like, why would I date somebody that's just going to take away from me? Why would I date somebody that's just going to take away from my life or take away from my energy? I wouldn't. Like, and that's like the base. And like, I've been trying to search for the perfect partner for 7 years. I can't find him. And I've traveled around the world. I've been on all these dating websites. I've been to bars. I've like hung out with new people. I live across the street from this kick-ass place. I meet like tons of people every year. And I can't meet anybody that fits all of these requirements. But, it's very easy for me to fall in love. Like, extremely easy for me to fall in love. But then I have to start analyzing. I start to have to, like, really back up and become, like, an average person. Because average people, they make, well, I don't know, I can't put them all in one bracket, but most average people, they're more rational with, like, jumping into things. With us, like, people, bipolar, borderline, clinically depressed, like, we just jump. Like, there's this one song by the Beatles called Mother Superior Jump the Gun. And I sing it all the time. I actually wrote it on my wall. Because it's, like, been the majority of my life. Like, I'm always like, Mother Superior Jump the Gun. So, yeah, so I have to be, like, quite logical with, making bad choices. And I was just screaming at my buddy the other day. We were on a road trip. He's borderline, too. And he makes all these stupid ass fucking decisions that impact and take away from other people's lives. And he wanted me to do something for him. And I'm like, okay, why do you want me to do this for you? And he's like, because I can't, because of this, and that. And I'm like, the reason why you need me to do this for you is because you made that bad choice a year ago. That was a massive bad choice because you weren't thinking. And that led up to this bad choice, that bad happening, this happening, this happening, this happening. And now you're fucked city. And you want other people to pick up your shit for you. Because you can't make proper choices. And you keep fucking up your life. So get your shit together. I threatened to slit his throat too. I fucking loved it. I was... And he was like, Joe, like, I understand that, like, it's your disease talking, so, like, I'm not angry at you, but if it was anybody else, I'd punch him in the face. I'd be like, no, motherfucker, it's not my disease talking. That's your fucking scapegoat on people. Like, it's just you making really shitty fucking choices and having everybody having to pick up the pieces because you fucking are an idiot. So don't fucking blame whatever fucking blah 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 on my fucking illness. Because you fucking don't know how to make proper choices and you're a fucking baby. So just shut your fucking mouth before I slit your goddamn throat. I don't put up with people that don't have their shit together, man. If you don't have your shit together, don't come to me. I only roll with people that have their shit together. Like this person that's coming to visit me, that person's got their shit together. That's the reason why, like, I'm toe into having them come fucking hang out with me and visit me, and like hang out in my fucking like neighborhood and chill, because like that person is not going to take away from my life at all. That person is going to add to my life. If there's people in your life that are taken away from your life, get the fuck away from them. Like honestly, if they're taking, like Tony Robbins, I'm not a big fan of him because he's obsessed with money. But Tony Robbins said something once that will always stay in my mind. He said, every day in a 24-hour period, you have a certain amount of energy. And you have to think about that energy. And if you're spending time with people that are taken away from that energy because they're negative, they're putting you down, they're abusive, they're controlling, they're making bad choices that are taking away from your happiness, whatever the fuck it is. Or if they're just fucking lazy and you gotta do shit for them, like wash the dishes or make their meals, whatever the fuck it is. You have to like protect your gates. Like you have your body, your mind, everything about you is a wall. Even your emotions, everything about you is a walled city. You live in a city. You are a city, and you have gates in front of that city. And if somebody is in your city and they're taking away your energy, or if somebody's outside of your gates or they're outside of your city and they're trying to come in, but you know that they're probably going to take away from your energy, you have to guard the gates and you have to not let those people in. You have to create boundaries, or you have to just tell them you can't, dude, you can't be in my life anymore. Like, because you're just taking away from my energy. And like there's, I always say that there's billions of people in this world, but I categorize people, seriously, I categorize people into two different groups of people. Two groups. People that take away from your life, and people that add to your life. And that's it. And then other people that are in abusive relationships or controlling relationships or neglectful relationships. Because a lot of people come to me for relationship advice. I'm kind of like a relationship expert, right? Because I've studied it like a motherfucker. There's a reason why I haven't been in a relationship for 7 years. Reason for that is because I fucking studied relationships to a goddamn fucking science. So people always come to me wanting relationship advice and shit like that. So, you know, a lot of these people are being abused, controlled, or neglected, or put down. And or they feel like they're being taken advantage of, because if they weren't, they wouldn't be talking to me, right? So I always tell them about, there's two types of people in this world: people that add to your life and people that take away from your life. And what you're going to want to do is only have people in your life that add to your life. The people that take away from your life, they're not worth your time. You're going to waste your life and you're going to have severe regret on your deathbed. And you're going to just keep being unhappy because they're just bringing you down. And the person that's in an unhealthy relationship always says, but what if they add to my life and they take away from my life? Be like, there is no gray area. Sometimes you have to think black and white. I think one of the beauties about being borderline personality disorder is that we do have splitting. We do have black and white thinking. Because I think we could use that to our advantage sometimes. I think that could come in very handy to get away from abusive people. Because after a while, after you've been abused enough, or controlled enough, or neglected enough, you reach a point where you start to see more black and white, if you could get there. But I think the proper way to get there, and then you'll leave that person. But I think in order to get there, you need to heal. If you don't heal your childhood issues, whether it's trauma, just basic issues, abuse, whatever it is, if you don't heal properly, you're going to keep gravitating towards abusive people or negative people. or people that put you down, because you're always going to have that negative self-talk running in your own head because you haven't healed the trauma yet. So you're always going to be attracted towards people that take away from your life because it's familiar to you, or you're trying to save them, or whatever the case may be, or they remind you of your father or your mother, whatever it is. So you have to heal first. Once you heal, then you could truly get with somebody. There's this beautiful video Eckhart Tolle did on the only way to have a healthy relationship is to fully heal childhood trauma, like fully heal childhood issues, and lose the ego and be present. And in order to lose the ego and be present, you have to heal any issues from the past. And if you haven't, it's going to be very, very hard for you to have a functioning relationship, a very good relationship, because you're not going to be able to be loving, or you're not going to find a very loving partner. It's very, very important. Also, when I was talking about healing the childhood issues yesterday and video number 95, by the way, 95 was a fucking badass video. It was my first thumbs down, which was fucking awesome. Like, I was walking through Walmart and I was talking to my buddy Steve, and like I went on the YouTube video, and because somebody left a comment, and I saw I got a thumbs down, and I was like, yes, motherfucker, I got a goddamn thumbs down. That's fucking, because it made me realize that, like, I was finally striking somebody's nerve. Like, I was finally striking a chord where somebody was just like, oh shit, like, I don't agree with this person. But you know what? After they gave me that fucking thumbs down, I guarantee you they thought about what I said later that day. Because what I said was absolutely legit shit. You cannot fucking argue with what I said in video 95. You cannot. Maybe you could disagree with something I said about narcissists and blaming the parents. Maybe you could say I was wrong about something like that, because I am definitely not a narcissist expert. But, like, honestly, the rest of the things that I said in 95, that shit is toe on correct, man. I mean, they've been talking about that shit for thousands of years, just in different ways. But, like, and I get there all the time. Like, I know it to be true. I absolutely know that to be true, because I spend enough time in stillness and solitude and silence, and I'm around enough people that do the same. And, like, you reach a certain level when you're connected to the earth and nature, and you get away from fucking rectangles and cell phones and Netflix and movies and all this other shit that destroy your presence with the world, and you just understand things. So that person that gave me a thumbs down, I think it's great that they did. But I hope, like, what I said, maybe it makes them think. Or just not think, but just be. But the one thing that I forgot to mention, those 5 that I mentioned in the video on how to heal, a really important one is number 6. Sleep. Proper sleep, at least 7 hours a night. Some people say 7.5 to 8 hours a night is sleep. Eating healthy food, no sugar. Sugar causes depression. No high fructose corn syrup. Healthy nutritional eating and fitness. Yoga, walking every day, working out, whatever it is. That's number 6. So you need all of those 6. And I forgot what the first 5 were in the first in video number 95, but that's one that I forgot. And I woke up this morning and I was like, oh shit, man. That one's so essentially important. Fitness, health, sleep, eating healthy foods, nutrition. Anyways, man. Fucking A, dude. Represent. But, yeah, man. No, but it's very hard for us to just slow the fuck down. Especially when we're really happy. Like, today I'm very happy. And I'm going much faster in my speech than I was yesterday in 95. So anyways, everybody, I hope you're having a good day. If you want to read a dope-ass motherfucking book, it's in the description below. And my Gmail's down there, too, if you want to send me a fucking email being like, holla, nigga, what up? Sorry, I didn't mean to say the N-word. Okay, let me talk about something before I peace out, right? They had a Black Lives Matter protest in Texas last night. or yesterday, whatever the fuck it was, and some guy got fucking killed, right? You're in fucking Texas, okay? I have a couple friends from Texas, but one of my friends from Texas is one of my best friends. She lives across the goddamn street from me. Texas is one of those states. I don't want to upset anybody from Texas or anybody, but Texas is one of those states that doesn't really like black people. There's certain states that don't like black people. Texas is one of them. So if we continue with the Black Lives Matter movement, we have to be more smart about social awareness, okay? We have to understand our environment, what environment we are going into. And more people are going to fucking get shot and killed. Because white people, motherfuckers be ruthless. And a lot of white people fucking hate black people. You know, and I'm not going to say like vice versa. There's a lot of black people that hate white people. I'm not going to get into that shit. But like, honestly, there's a lot of hate in this country. There's a lot of anger in this country. And you have to be aware of that anger and that hate. You know, both sides, both races, all races have this like hatred towards each other. And it's just built up by history and, you know, government and, you know, rules and laws and what we're taking away from each other. They're stealing this from us. They're taking away that from us. All this stuff. So there's been so much hate and negativity built on itself. And now we're reaching a boiling point. But now we're not thinking clearly. We're going into areas and environments that are not socially acceptable to the group of people that we're trying to support. And people are going to die. And you could say, well, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that will add fuel to the fire. Maybe we need more people to die. You could say that, right? You could say, well, like, it's all right to march in Texas. And it is. But you have to understand that if you do march in Texas, black people are going to get murdered. Are you willing to take that chance? I guess that's up to you. But you have to be socially aware of what you're getting into. You know, as a world traveler, I've been in some really unsafe places. Really fucking unsafe places. At like 3 a.m. in the morning. Stranded, homeless, like really bad city in Malaysia, really bad area in Nicaragua, just to mention two off the top of my head, right? Just homeless, nowhere to go. So it's like, when you understand what the feelings of being unsafe are, and what environment is and how dangerous an environment is, you can't be cute with shit. You have to be socially aware and understand what environment you are going into and if it's hostile or not. And with that, I'm no politician, but, you know, if we don't want people to die, we need to be smart. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Have a great day. And if you want to read a really cool book, it's in the description. I wrote it, so it's fucking badass. I'm joking. Positivity wins them over every time. Picasso rules. Oh, why can't I just end this video? Joking. Have a great day, everybody. Love you, and keep going with the movement, man. Movement rules. Peace.